Michael Eaves is here with A Day in Sports. And what is the latest on the hazing scandal there in Miami?
We're going to hear more from Jonathan Martin's side. That is what is new. Jonathan Martin will meet next week with the NFL's appointed investigator about Martin's alleged allegations, of hazing and bullying from his Miami Dolphins teammate, Richie Incognito. Martin's attorney, David Cornwell, tells Al Jazeera Sports that the meeting will take place near Martin's home in Los Angeles during the latter part of the week, and that Martin is looking forward to sharing the details of his harassment. Now, Martin left the Dolphins last week after a taunting incident in the team's lunchroom. This past Sunday, the Dolphins suspended Incognito indefinitely for conduct detrimental to the team. Now, since this controversy emerged, questions have been raised about Martin's toughness, a question that has followed other players from Stanford University to the NFL, but it's a question that Stanford coach David Shaw believes lacks legitimacy.
There's been a lot of talk about Jonathan Martin. God bless him. He'll be back playing this game that he loves soon enough. Do Stanford guys have a problem? But the funny thing is that question usually comes after, boy, your team is so tough and so physical and plays so great on the offensive and defensive lines, and then follow that up with a question about, well, do Stanford guys have a problem in the NFL? I think we got one of the best quarterbacks in the league from Stanford, the best corner in the league. I think Doug Baldwin's doing great. We got a bunch of guys playing well. And tonight you see who we are. A big physical team that plays extremely hard and plays very well together.
Well, as it relates to Martin's departure from the Dolphins and the ongoing investigation, Martin's attorney also issued the following statement today. Quote, Jonathan endured harassment that went far beyond the traditional locker room hazing. For the entire season and a half that he was with the Dolphins, he attempted to befriend the same teammates who subjected him to the abuse with hope that doing so would end the harassment. This is a textbook reaction of victims of bullying. Despite these efforts, the taunting continued. Beyond the well-publicized voicemail with racial epithet, Jonathan endured a malicious physical attack on him by a teammate and daily vulgar comments. These facts are not in dispute. Joining me now is Al Jazeera America legal contributor Jami Floyd. And Jami, from an attorney's perspective, what is David Cornwell trying to establish with that statement?
Well, there's been an effort to shift the victim status to incognito, and I think Cornwell wants to be sure that his client remains the perceived victim in all of this, at least until all of the facts come out. And I think he also wants to make this about more than just bullying, about more than just hazing, to begin to clarify that these facts go, as he says in the statement, beyond what we think of as traditional hazing or bullying, that this was far more pernicious, vulgar, things that we can't even say here on national television, threats to kill, threats to commit felonious sexual assault against Martin's sister, and others over the course of a year and a half, to the point where Martin felt he could no longer be on the team.
Regardless of what happens with the NFL's investigation, what other legal alternatives or options could Martin and his attorneys be looking at?
Well, making death threats is a criminal act. Claiming that you are going to commit felonious sexual assault on someone's sister, on a woman, is a criminal act. So these are very, very serious allegations, and Martin claims he has the facts, the actual text messages and voicemail messages to back it up. So this is extremely serious.
I apologize for interrupting. I think for some people, can you really make the comparison what happens in a locker room in terms of how athletes interact to the normal workplace, where an allegation in an accounting firm, yeah, you can go to the law, but in the locker room, you're not going to the cops about this?
Well, I hear what you're saying. You're saying that what goes on in a locker room, it's banter, it's hazing, maybe you might call it bullying, and you're not supposed to go to your coach. You're not supposed to go to Goodell. You're not supposed to go to the press or to the cops, because it's not a locker room. It's not a law firm. It's not a law school. It's not even a sorority or fraternity. But the fact is, Mr. Martin has come forward. He did get to a point where it affected his psyche, so much so that he left the team and, in fact, sought counseling or is seeking counseling. So the status of the victim is what matters, not the workplace itself.
Al Jazeera America legal contributor Jami Floyd joining us. Jami, we could talk about this subject for much longer than I wish we will in the future, but again, thank you for joining us this evening.